Just glorious ball of noise. Hey guys, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello. My first question is, did you mean to do that thing where it went...
into harmonic... Yeah.
Oh, right, we'll have to explain how to do that before the end of the show.
Okay.
Right. We're going to try and not make this utterly excruciating.
We'll do our best.
Because like 45 minutes of Octave Fuzz is enough to send anyone over the edge.
Well, yeah.
So ostensibly we're talking about Octave Fuzz, yeah?
Yes.
But in that is a discussion about octave in general.
Exactly.
And I think what we need to do, Dan, is pin down the relevant questions.
Okay.
Because if it's just 45 minutes of us doing bad Jimi Hendrix impressions, the people are going to revolt.
The people are revolting. Sure. Well, I thought it'd be really good just to explain what Octave Fuzz is, what sort of Octave Fuzzes there are.
Yep.
Because there are differences, and what Octave Fuzz isn't.
Okay. Let's for the good people to call up a browser in YouTube or Spotify or iTunes or whatever it is. Where can people hear quintessential Octave Fuzz?
Jimmy.
Yeah, listen to Solo in Purple Haze.
Beautiful. Yeah.
As one example. Fire, it's in Fire a bit as well. Jimmy used a certain type of Octave Fuzz. Anywhere else we can think of?
The intro for Prince, When Doves Cry.
When Doves Cry.
When Doves Cry. Great octave sound.
Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes is an octave down, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
But Jack White does use octave.
He does. He does indeed.
He definitely does.
Yep.
And my probably current favourite would be Doyle Bramall II.
Yes.
Doyle Bramall II. He uses it extensively.
He does.
As a sound. It's been used down the ages. And then what is also interesting is certain fuzz pedals can add an octave effect sort of by almost within their own circuit without being overtly an octave based. And I swear you can hear that in some Billy Gibbons stuff.
Sure.
And I think you can hear it all over where fuzz is used. Anyway, so yeah, call up some of those guys, have a listen to what an octave fuzz can sound like.
Okay, so why don't we... I've got three different flavours here, okay? A flavour that we have used before on the show has been like the sort of 70s super fuzz sounds. Yep. Now, one thing that all of these octave pedals do is they do a thing called full wave rectifying. So what happens there is you've got your signal, right? And when we have a full wave rectifier, we take the bottom half of the signal, the negative part of the AC voltage, and that gets rectified up to the top, right? So we're essentially doubling the frequency. So
a rectifier changes in an amp. What does a rectifier do?
Well, in a rectifier, in the amp, basically changes AC to DC.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what the basic use of.
Stop signs, speed limits. You said AC/DC.
Oh, okay.
We just got demonetised.
Okay. So a rectifier in the amplifier generally changing the AC voltage to DC voltage. But to do that properly, they use capacitors and things to smooth out the ripple. In this, though, they don't do that. They just simply have the full rectifier of the wave, and when we double the frequency, we're literally doubling.
Oh, no way!
The octave, exactly. So that's how that works.
So that happens. Does that happens in the fundamental frequency and all the harmonics as well?
So the way that it works is, and let's take the like a TheGigRig Octave, for example, and that has got a really interesting way to do it, and a classic way to do it is with a transformer.
That TheGigRig Octavia, by the way, is the Jimi one,
right? Which
was then insert Roger Mayer story here,
sure.
Insert Dunlop story here, insert all the other stuff you can read about on Wikipedia, but the Tycho Brahe Octavia is the Jimi sound.
Sure. And actually, so what we'll do, I want you to have a listen to the OctaHive. So this is in the same ballpark because it's using that transformer to do the rectifying. So basically, you've got your input signal going into to a transformer, and on the secondary, you've got these two diodes, and basically that's what's doing the rectification, taking the bottom part of the wave and flipping it up the top, and then it's just direct output from that. So all the gain and everything's happening before the transformer, and then it's being rectified, and that's what you get.
So there's no op amp. There's no clipping. It's not like an overdrive pedal.
No, so
nothing like that.
So it's using. There is gain in the front of the circuit. Yeah, which is pushing the transformer, because don't forget the diodes. We've got forward voltage of the diodes, and so you were automatically losing.
What's making
volume.
the gain? A transistor?
So yes, transistors.
Yeah,
transistors in the front of that, and so they're pushing. They've got their character, and they're as they push and they're pushing those diodes, that's what gets the sound. So have a listen to this. I think this is. Like heavily inspired by the Tycho Brahe. Okay, so you have.
I may have to switch guitars fairly swiftly onto a Strat, I think, but let's listen to see what this sounds like.
So what I've got here, I've got a master volume. I've got the pre-gain input, so I can change the amount of level that's going into the signal, and then sort of the drive section.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. So here we go.
So you can hear that signal is completely messed up, right? But you get that upper octave thing happening.
So here's one of our questions that we need to answer.
Yes.
If you're going for that classic Jimi type octave sound, it has to do that thing where you go onto the neck pickup. I'll switch to the Strat actually. You go onto the neck pickup, you turn it down a bit, and that's what gives you like the crazy octave effect.
Sure. Yeah, actually, good shout.
Let me just grab the Strat because this guitar sounds awesome. It's really cool, but I guess if we're going to talk about vintage style octave in this sense, it really needs to be.
Where's 61?
The Strat. It's at home.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I said that's like 1 minute of that. 45 minutes of this is
It's gonna hurt.
I did have an altercation with a bread knife, by the way.
Yeah.
So if you're noticing some softness in my tone, it is a sticking plaster.
I like it. I think it sounds
great.
great.
I keep getting it caught under the string, which is a bit annoying.
So we do have the option on the OctaHive to sort of switch out the transformer. And so I haven't done this before, but I'm assuming we do that. We're going to get a volume lift because we're now going to be going past the diode. So just play this for us.
So funny, you're expecting one note and you get another.
Yeah, right.
It's really touch sensitive on what harmonics you hit.
Absolutely, yeah. So which is why the way that you drive that circuit is all important.
Question.
Yes.
I don't know the answer to this. You might. The sort of 10th to 12th fret Strat thing.
Neck pickup.
Because that's where there's a lot of natural harmonics in the middle of the neck there. Do you think?
To be honest, I don't know.
Let me try it down further down the neck. interesting. It's all in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just try that on the bridge pickup and oh God. If you feel like stabbing yourself in the eye, please don't do that.
That's where it is. So that's that. Yeah, that classic thing. Strat, neck pickup, 12th fret. It's a magic thing.
And what happens if you put a fuzz in front of that, Dan?
Okay, let's try that. So this is really cool. This is the pedal pawn fuzz. I saw a clip of Eric Gales using this, and man,
if you don't know who Eric Gales is, go and listen to the record "Bad Lawbreaker." I think it's called. No, it's called "Relentless," and the first track on it is called "Bad Lawbreaker."
Right.
And Eric Gales is currently making a record with Josh Smith and Joe Bonamassa. I think they're producing
really?
it. They're producing it. But
he's
Eric Gales
unbelievable.
is just there are a tiny handful of people on the planet who play from the heart in the way that Eric Gales does. Anyway, love Eric Gales.
Yeah. So I saw him using this fuzz and I was sort of blown away. So I wanted to hear that. So I'll kick the fuzz on, and so the fuzz will be first in the circuit.
Yep.
And then that will be going into the OctaHive.
Yep.
Okay. Here you go. Just awesome.
It's definitely the case that you do need to roll that neck pickup off a bit.
Right.
Let's try on the telly a sec.
So yeah, they work great with fuzz, but a lot of them have, that drive circuit on their own, so you don't necessarily need fuzz with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they pair up with fuzz beautifully. So that is using the transformer, and the other one on the board that uses the transformer in that way is the Jonny Octave from ZVEX. And I first heard this being used by Paul Stacey, and it blew me away. Such an amazing sounding thing. So this is the Jonny Octave. If you want to have strongage on that one.
Good.
So the thing with Jonny Octave is it still uses the transformer, still uses diodes, but it's done in a different way. Transformer and diodes is basically in the middle of the circuit instead of right at the end. So we do know that Zachary is a genius, and so like one thing with having the transformer right at the end is you do have impedance issues. And impedance all comes down to the transformer.
You can get drugs for that though, can't you?
You can, but he's solved that basically by changing where the position of it goes.
Little blue pill. Impedance issues. If you knew.
The impedance.
Yeah, if you knew. Sorry. What does the switch do?
So there's two circuits in there. They're basically identical, and so you can have two different levels and switch between them.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So here you go. have strong arms on this. Perfect demonstration.
That's my new
of what that is.
New concept album.
Yeah. So yeah, very, very cool. So that's the sort of the transformer octave thing. Now if we have a look at the Argo, which is your current favorite.
Yes, this is my current favorite because of two reasons. One is that I like the way it goes with overdrive as well as fuzz. Actually, three reasons. Two, it has a blend mode and a boost on it, which is really useful, as we'll find out. Three, one of my favourite musicians in the world, Doyle Bramall, I'll mention him again, Doyle Bramall 2, his favourite octave is the original version of this.
Which is the Prescription Electronics COB.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you said you knew what COB stands for.
Clean Octave Blend.
Oh,
so
I never knew that.
so the interesting thing about this pedal, instead of using the transformer, it does it with transistors and splits it that way.
Oh, cool.
So it is really cool. So
I didn't know any of this.
I'm going to turn the blend down so that you can have strung arms in that. I'm going to blend that octave in.
Okay.
Okay.
That works for me. One of the reasons it works for me is sometimes if you have an octave, that one's much more predictable than the sort of Tycho Brahe, Octavia type things. So you can play it more over the neck for a start.
Sure.
But secondly, it just stays on its own out of a band. It can sound pretty thumpy and harsh.
Right.
But in a mix, it's all there.
Sure.
Have you played that one much?
I haven't, no.
I want to turn the fuzz on as well a bit, just to have a listen to that.
Okay.
Turn some reverb on, turn the guitar volume down, and just hang on to some notes.
Okay.
Just real.
Wow.
I just want to try. I just want to plug some humbuckers in just for a second, just to see what the difference is. Were you on the neck pickup then?
I was.
Neck pickup turned down a bit. So humbuckers on this Les Paul, just to see. You got the same sound?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So it does work with humbuckers.
Yeah, wow.
I'll stay on the guitar for a bit, I think.
Okay, so those pedals are basically Octavia in that sort of style, that really full-on upper octave, you know. The Jonny Octave and the Beehive sort of use that transformer to do it. The Argo used transistors, and still with the diodes though. The 3699 fuzz, we get to that, the Shin companion fuzz, like super fuzz.
Isn't this derived of a Fox?
Yes, yes. So,
and box.
Okay, the box. This is the 3699 Goose Strength the Wine fuzz, and so yes, Danelectro owner Steve Ridinger.
Yeah, we met Steve at NAMM a couple times.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
And he created the original Fox pedal line in the 70s, in the Fox Tone Machine, which is that classic octave fuzz circuit, right? So he's designed this now with a couple of switches so that you can switch in a mid boost, which is really cool, and also 2-foot switches so you can actually switch out the octave as well.
We've liked all of these new Danelectro pedals. We've really liked them.
Really,
They've got
cool.
the, you know, whatever you think about the fake aging, I actually think it looks really cool. But all of them so far have sounded great.
They really have.
Like it doesn't feel like it's some, you know, pilot high, sell it as cheap as possible.
No.
You know, whatever. They do sound really good.
It wouldn't have surprised me if Danelectro had bought out some. Okay, let's create some, you know, cheap smash and grab things, but they really haven't. They've sort of been crafted and like very, very impressive. So this is very similar, and we'll get this in a second, to the Sound of the Supreme, which is of course after my beloved Duo Fuzz. It's that sort of vibe, basically around the circuit
thing. Yeah.
Now the interesting thing about this, the way they do the octave in this, again, there's no diodes. It's just done with the transistors.
Right.
Okay, so it's a step in the other direction, and what we get by doing that, we retain more of the bottom end, but still with loads of upper octaves. So here you go.
Okay, I'll be in the same place that I was in the last time you heard this guitar.
Okay. The other thing about this is there are diodes in it, but the diodes, germanium diodes, are actually used to do the clipping.
Oh, no way.
Hard clipping, same way as you see in your Rat, for example. Yeah, but with all that octave circuit coming in before it.
Huh.
Yeah, so really, really cool. So,
Have a play on that a sec.
killer.
So mid switch in and out, fuzz down and up, tone down and up.
Yeah.
Huge range of sounds in that.
Massive.
From that
being able
kind
to
of
switch the octave in and out as well.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, I
fantastic.
didn't do that, but you can go from that really kind of scoopy. I don't want to tie it to a genre, but genres of music which have a really scoopy fuzz sound.
As in the original, that shift button, there's a filter in there that just scoops out all that 1K, and that's what you get. So he's kept that in there, but switching that back in, it's great. But then that added tone control, just wonderful.
Yeah, so where your Argo, for example, is a bit more kind of you probably want an overdrive pedal before it a little bit,
sure,
or it doesn't do that kind of massive, thick, woolly fuzz thing, whereas the 3699 certainly does.
Nails it.
As
Fantastic.
does the Supreme.
Yeah, so have a listen to the
onto.
Supreme. So you have strong arms in this one.
Okay, I'll keep doing the fiddly stuff. You do the massive riffs, Dan. How about that?
Sounds good. Awesome.
That's how you do that. Okay. Give us a massive riffage then. Oh, it's really gated.
Really gated.
And the gate finally.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like I'm half in a Queens of the Stone Age record there.
Right.
Just with those very altered mid.
Yeah, it's just super cool. So that's a sound that as soon as I heard that, I just fell in love with that. Because it's still fat. It doesn't lose the bottom end the way that the octaves do, but they're amazing sounds. But I love that, full riffage.
Yeah.
Controlling all that bottom end.
I think that's interesting. So I would never use anything like that to riff with, because it would be too, for the kind of stuff I do and the kind of bands that I've played in,
right,
it would be too much in the bass player's territory.
Okay.
I don't really play heavy music. For me, it's all about that lead.
Sure.
The kind of octave up there. So I guess that's probably an important question. What are you going to use it for?
Sure.
Because if you want the Hendrixy, doily, bluesy thing, then some of these pedals are more relevant than others. Perhaps.
Absolutely. So there we go. So that's the three basic camps of Octave Fuzz. But I wanted to quickly show you, because there's the other thing with Octave is the octave down.
Right.
And we'll get to the POG in a second. But so if you remember the MXR blue box.
Yeah, I've never had one. But
okay. I just bought one and I forgot to bring it with me today.
Hooray.
But this is really interesting, right? So the MXR Blue Box, it also does rectification, right? But it does.
What is it? It's an octave, is it?
So it's an octave, but it does what we call half-wave rectification. So instead of flipping the bottom part of the signal up, it just gets rid of that, right? And then it turns the upper parts of the wave into square waves, right? And then it puts that through what we call a flip-flop circuit. And so basically, it only lets every second one through.
Oh, no way.
So whereas the upper octave is doubling the frequencies, after the flip-flop, we're taking out every second frequency, so we're halving the frequencies. And then what happens if we halve the frequencies?
You go an octave down.
You go an octave down, exactly. Actually, the blue box, I think, does that process twice, so it goes 2 octaves down.
Huh, no way.
But so the Honey Badger are sort of heavily inspired by that sound.
Oh, no way.
And so this is really cool. So
we should give Mikey Demas a shout out.
Absolutely.
Mikey Demas from the band Skindred, and he started an effects pedal company called Redbeard Effects.
Yeah, very cool.
With Thorpe got something to do with this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Legend, what is Thorpe? Okay, so I'm going to turn the octave. I'm going to turn the octave off for a second so that we can hear the fuzz, and then we'll turn the octave on, and you'll hear that sort of blue box, sort of almost uncontrollable sort of octave down thing. It's really, really cool.
Okay, can I riff now?
You riff.
Okay.
So it's just trying to track the frequencies in a sort of an analog manner.
So if I played more lightly, would that help?
Not necessarily. It might help if you played up higher
right
in the register. I knew that was coming. Yeah, but that's sort of that sound of that sort of uncontrollable lower octave is really, really cool. There's I'm trying to remember who used the Jimmy Page used the blue box on something.
Some Led Zeppelin something.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's a really cool sound.
Times been love.
Yeah, Stairway to Devon. It's all over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for that sort of,
it's the sort of, for me, that's the beginning of the synth world.
Yeah. So the thing is that process to get that sub octave is
synthesis.
Absolutely,
yeah.
It absolutely is.
Or at least it's the heavy manipulation of a wave, which is what.
Yeah. It's great. The thing with the blue box, it allows you to morph between the synth sound and the fuzz.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a really, really cool sound thing.
Do you get that option on the Honey Badger?
Yeah. So if you play, and I'll
not again.
So no, you can't. You can't have the octave by itself. Sorry, I thought you could.
Right.
No, you just blend the octave in on top of the fuzz. Yeah.
That was called Where Are My Eggs?
Oh, okay. I like
That's the song that I have in my head when I'm waiting for my breakfast in a diner in America.
The reason I wanted to include that and the blue box type thing is because it's still that rectification, half wave instead of the full wave. What I wanted to also get to was the POG. So the POG is a polyoctave generator, so it enables you to pick out octaves and frequencies and things. And I wanted to show you the difference between just adding an octave above and the fuzz and a proper octave fuzz.
Yeah, so now we're out of fuzz now, aren't we?
We're out of fuzz.
We're into octave generation.
Yeah, exactly.
I had the original silver one of these.
Really?
Loved it.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful things. Okay, so
Do you want to just explain how it works?
so basically it's you've got your original signal going in, it digitizes that, and then you can pull out like 1 octave above, 2 octaves above, octave below, 2 octaves below, and then manipulate that. Different attack and release times.
It does the detune thing as well.
Does the detune? Yeah, it's really, really great.
Can we just hear the different octaves? That might be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I shall pick a random note to play on the middle pickup of this Gibson Les Paul guitar. So I'm stumbling around the Blackadder theme tune there.
Okay, so if we take our dry output and the upper octave, so now we're going to put the fuzz into that. Okay.
Sounds like an organ.
Exactly. If we put the second octave above, let's have a play that one. There's a song called "Kill It With Fire."
That was called Emerson, Lake and Palmer. No. It's so cool. Did you detune it?
I didn't detune
The
it.
thing I love about the POG is the detune. Check this out.
All right.
And you shall be healed.
So you can play chords with the POG,
Yeah,
right?
poly
now,
octave
I want you to
generator.
play exactly the same thing you just played then.
Yeah.
With Jonny Octave.
It was an A minor and an A major.
Here you go. Perfect.
Awesome.
There you go.
Very cool. So just to finish off on the POG there, it's not the POG really, if you want an octave up effect, yes, it does it, but it's not an octave up in the way that these old sort of broadly Jimi inspired octave
It's really
things
not.
are,
No,
right?
no.
It's a different thing.
Because that octave thing using the rectification imparts its own character.
Yeah.
You know, and then it doesn't track great, and it's spitty, but it's awesome.
Yeah, the POG is good for, you can use it for octave down effects and all of that, but really what it does supremely well is the poly stuff, i.e. you can play more notes than one, and you can do the sort of pseudo organ thing, which I think is what it's really great for.
Yep.
Cool. Have you got a favourite today?
The Jonny Octave sort of blew me away. If I could take two, it'd be the 3699 and the Jonny Octave.
Yeah, obviously the Argo's my fave and always will be. For the kind of stuff that I play, I really, really like the OctaHive.
Yeah, right.
The Jonny Octave, like all ZVEX stuff, they just nail it on, don't they?
It's just unreal.
With very confident nails.
Zachary Vex is such a creative...
That's Honk Zach.
That's Honk Zach. He is one of those guys. He is so incredibly, frighteningly intelligent and creative. And he can, the way that he comes up with these incredible design stuff, it's just mind blowing. I just think the guy's amazing.
He really is. He really is. The Honey Badger, I think, if you take it a decade or two step forward from the kind of stuff that maybe, well, certainly where I spend my musical life, it sounds exceptional.
It's unreal.
Really, really, really good. So maybe if you're sort of more into the heavier end of things and, less overtly vintage inspired than this other stuff, I think that is absolutely killer.
Yeah.
The Supreme didn't really shine today for me.
Okay.
In the way that it did in the Four Fuzzes episode.
Sure.
I think some of these others have more all that thing I always talk about, fidelity, integrity.
Sure.
Mad, isn't it, to talk about fidelity when you're talking about something like this.
Yeah.
But it's about headroom. It's about the kind of width around the note you've got to move and all that stuff that makes you want to dig in and play.
Yep.
Really cool.
I was very impressed with the pedal pawn fuzz, though. I think that does sound exceptional.
It does. Cleans up super nice too.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
beautiful.
Nice job, fellas.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Also, massive thank you to our preferred retailers in the UK and Europe is...
Anderton's Music. Big hello to Lee and Pete and the gang there.
Yes, indeed. And a big hello to our mates in Australia, Matt and the guys
at Pedal Empire of Brisbane, Queensland.
Brisbane. Up in Queensland if you're from the south, and then down from where we are.
What did I say? Up?
People have said up,
well,
down.
Brisbane's the town. Brisbane is the town and Queensland is the state, right?
Exactly. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
It's a long way away.
Bench 150 at the airport, you get to your Australian passport. Also, a massive thank you to our patrons on Patreon.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. Also, thatpedalshowstore.com, where you can come and purchase fine accoutrements.
Yes. Garments to wear, things to write in, maybe
pedals to play, albums to listen to. Yeah,
you can buy an increasing amount of stuff in the That Pedal Show store. Please go there. It's how we generate the cash to make the show. So buying stuff funds making this endeavour.
Indeed.
One thing we haven't done,
right,
is turn them all on. I think you deserve this particular honour, Dan.
I thank you. I accept with my acceptness.
Maybe we'll play out on this.
Or maybe not.